Yes, my people, how are we doing? With the summer transfer window kind of basically really opened recently, the new Premier League season coming up within the next 2.5 months of 24-25 campaign, and the transfer window being underway, like I said, this is the opportunity for us to sign some really good players going into the new campaign. And boy, we're doing so. It's early June. We basically already signed 2 brand new players that are going to be signing with us within the next week or so. And we are very close to signing a few other players. We've got talks going on behind the scenes. I don't know what Parrish and Dougie Freeman are doing and cooking up, but it is something special going into next season. So I cannot wait, man. The fact we're getting business done early is a really bright sign and a positive start, especially with the new season underway coming up soon and that. So I cannot wait, man. But we're doing a madness in this transfer window. All you can hear on the gossip, especially from the likes of Fabrizio Romano, Sky Sports, the BBC, all of that. All you can hear is Crystal Palace non-stop. So let's keep it going and let's get them players in to kick off next season brightly, man. So we're going to start off with one of our new signings who has had a medical, I should say, most recently. Jahidi Riyad signed for £12 million from Barcelona, the 20-year-old centre-back who's played twice for the Moroccan international team. He also joined Real Betis from Barcelona on loan last season, making over 30 appearances, and that his medical has been completed at Crystal Palace, which is a good sign, and that he signed a 5-year contract. Overall, a massive sign for Palace. It was confirmed all over social media and that as well. So yeah, he's a young, promising centre-back. He's got plenty of experience in that within Europe and at the top with the likes of Barcelona and Real Betis in the Spanish league and that as well. So he knows his stuff, and yeah, overall a massive sign of Crystal Palace, man. Can't wait to see this guy play. Daichi Kamada, the 27-year-old Japanese international who plays more of an attacking midfield role. He could play in a forward role, but ideally he's more of a cam. He's due to have his medical booked this week. He will be set to sign for Crystal Palace as a free agent on a 2-year contract, taking his deal up to 2026 with an option to extend, I believe in that as well. Now, Oliver Glasner wanted Daichi Kamada to come to Palace after winning the Europa League with him a couple of years ago, back in 2022. Last season, he played over 40 games for Lazio when he was there, scored twice only. We know Lazio were due to sign him, but he picked Palace over Lazio, rejecting them and that. So yeah, that's us a lot of favours, trust me. Look, we know what Glasner's capable of. I know it's not great, him scoring 2 goals in 40 games last season, but we know what Oliver Glasner is capable of. He's gotten the best out of players before, so who's saying he can't do it again, especially with a former player in Daichi Kamada. He's won the Europa League with him. Overall, it's a quality and experience signing, especially with a player who's got, plenty of winning experience, and he's got that high, ambitious mentality. So he basically knows what it takes to win and to get to the top. We're going to be talking more with the transfer rumours and the gossip surrounding Crystal Palace lately. Talk about Joe Bellingham, been heavily linked with Crystal Palace. Now, a few days ago, it was all over social media, and for what sources were saying, we were in talks to sign the 18-year-old midfielder from Sunderland, and that last season got 7 goals in 45 matches for the Black Cats in the Championship. It's okay, not amazing, could be worse, to be fair. Oliver Glasner wants him at Crystal Palace. He wants us to try and push to sign him. He's one of our main priorities, for us to sign this summer, and that he's a massive target for Crystal Palace. Sunderland's asking price is around 15 to 20 million pounds. However, they have come out afterwards saying they have no intentions of selling him, and that even though they have put that price tag on, which is an all right price tag, to be fair. He's a young talent with a lot of promise and high ambitions to succeed, just like his brother Jude Bellingham. I mean, the way he's been playing this season under Madrid has been superb. So hopefully he'll have that ambition, momentum and motivation to try and succeed and get to the height of his career, just like his brother, like I said. So overall, it's a touch and go whether this deal will get done, but I like the direction Palace are going. Another player that we have been heavily linked to is an ideal replacement for Michael Olise if he did go to Chelsea, which I don't think is going to happen anyway, is Griencio Somerville from Leeds United. Now, Palace will push for the Dutch attacking midfielder if Olise did leave this summer. However, overall, it's very unlikely that Olise will leave, as he wants to stay at Crystal Palace. Leeds, however, for Somerville, are asking around £30 million for him, which in my opinion is just a little bit too much. I mean, despite him getting 20 goals in the Championship last season for Leeds United, I don't think he's a proven 30 million prolific Premier League player. You know, I know he's had that spell in his first year at Leeds where he got 4 goals, but he kind of blew too much hot and cold for me, in my opinion. I mean, like they say, the jump from the Championship to the Premier League is a massive difference. Now, this is a signing that I really want to happen within the next couple months. This would be a top signing. Maxime Lacroix, I believe that's how you say his name, the French defender, been on Palace's radar for the last 3 to 4 months since Oliver Glasner joined, and that the 24-year-old French defender who, of course, used to be managed by Oliver Glasner 3 years ago at Wolfsburg. Now, could they reunite for this season at Crystal Palace? We'll have to wait and see, really. Now, Lacroix is, 6'3". He's an absolute powerhouse of a defender, which, you know, for me is ideal, as we know the likes of Mark Gay and that. Mark Gay will depart, in my opinion, maybe go to Man United, one of the big teams in the Premier League, for maybe 60 to 70 million pounds. He would be an ideal replacement. Wolfsburg got rumoured to want around 20 to 25 mil for the French defender, which in my opinion overall is a fair price. To be fair, 20 to 25 mil is a decent offering, and that, to be honest, especially for a speedy, air offensive and courageous defender. If we sign a player like him, I'm not going to lie, I generally think we could be challenging for more than a Conference League spot next season. Another point I want to talk about, or more like another topic I want to talk about regarding the left wing back position, in order for Tyrick Mitchell to have a bit of backup and competition. I want to talk about the left wing back position, the fullbacks in general, and that players that we could possibly sign. Now, first up, I'm going to go with Ryan Sessegnon here. Now, Tottenham, within the last day or so, or the last day or two, I should say, they confirmed that Tanganga, Ryan Sessegnon, who we are linked to and interested in, and the likes of Eric Dyer and Perisic, they'll be leaving the club as their contracts will be up and they're not going to be renewing them and that. Now, if I'm Dougie Freeman, I'd snap him up fast, because a lot of clubs are going to be interested in trying to sign a young, ambitious and talented player in Ryan Sessegnon. I know he's been called a flop, but we know what this guy is fully capable of. Sessegnon on the free is pretty decent. Now, he's a proven Premier League player, no doubt about that. He's very versatile and relentless on his day. It's just a shame that he's just been, you know, droughted with a lot of injuries over the last few years. He's very injury prone. That's been one of the biggest downfalls within his career and that. But I personally would take him, you know, for great squad depth for next season overall. He's got so much more promise. He's still got a bright football career ahead, you know, if he gets a good coach. And I think Oliver Glasner is more than capable of getting the best out of him. Another player here that I want to talk about is Alfie Doherty from Luton Town. Was one of Luton's best players last season, 24 years of age, can play left back, left wing back, even midfielder, heard on that as well. He's attracted interest from Brentford and other clubs. Only missed 1 match in the Premier League for Luton Town last season, scoring 2 goals and 5 assists. It's pretty impressive for a left wing back, you know, within his first ever Premier League season. He's a hard driving, energetic and relentless player, which is great coming off the bench, you know, for a club like Crystal Palace, because he's the kind of player that probably won't start over Mitchell, but will definitely be on the bench, and he'll have a massive impact in coming off if we did push to sign it. If we did even sign him, they want around 50 to 20 mil. You know, 50 mil is a fair price, 20 mil I'm not really sure about. And an interesting one here, Ben Johnson, the left wing back for West Ham. He can play right wing back, he can play left wing back, but he's more of a left wing back. Now, he was due to become to Crystal Palace on a free transfer this summer anyways, as West Ham weren't allegedly going to renew his contract a month ago. However, according to sources from West Ham United within the West Ham media base, and that Ben Johnson could now renew his contract with West Ham within the next few weeks. So that'd be interesting. Who will we choose within the next 3 weeks, and that also West Ham or Palace? We'll have to wait and see. For me, I'd take Doherty or Sessegnon over Ben Johnson, in my opinion. You know, either one of them, to be fair. I think they're miles better players than Ben Johnson. Other news and gossip referring to Crystal Palace here. What has come through that Tottenham Hotspur are expected to open talks with Eze within the next couple of weeks. Now, news report suggests that Eze has an agreement in place with Crystal Palace, which could allow him to leave the club this summer, unfortunately. And also that Tottenham Hotspur are expected to start talking with the player and towards Crystal Palace about a possible transfer within the next fortnight. So that might heat a few things up, and that it depends how he does in the Euros. I think he'll go to the Euros, and if he does well, a lot of clubs are going to be after him. I know Man City were interested in him a few few weeks ago and that as well. Tottenham have been really heavily linked with him within the last few months though. In my opinion though, he'd be stupid to leave an ambitious club in Crystal Palace for a side who are the definition of failure, who are more happy finishing below success than winning any silverware, to be fair. So it'd be pretty stupid to do that. In my opinion, I think we've got a little bit more ambition than Tottenham Hotspur. You heard that straight. Another bit of transfer talk and gossip surrounding Odsonne Edouard. Crystal Palace are willing to listen to offers for Odsonne Edouard. The Eagles value the former Celtic striker for around £20 million. That's pretty interesting, you know, that's pretty good as well, considering we brought in for £15 million or so back in 2021 under Patrick Vieira. So for 20 mil, we can get 20 mil for Edouard. Pretty good business. Edouard's been lazy this season. He hasn't stepped up to the plate. He don't work hard enough. He's not putting his weight on and off the pitch, really. Clearing off is at Glasner. It's not a fan favourite of him. And fair enough, he's not pulled his weight and he gets what he deserves to be sold in the summer. Kind of surprising. Crystal Palace are ready to cash in on Jordan Ayew this summer. Ayew has been an Eagles regular within the last few months or so. He's been getting into the first team a few times on the Glasner. However, obviously when Elise came back from injury, it's all been Elise down that right hand side, and Ayew's been on the bench. He's been coming on and off really in that, so he's probably not too happy. The minimum I would take for him is 8 to 10 mil. But the Cruyff Turner himself, if you know what I mean, people, listen, you know, he's been a great servant to the club, but Ayew is now, 32 years of age. His time has come. I think it's best for him to move on. He hasn't had a bad season. He's been one of our best players this season, in my opinion, up there with the likes of Elise, Mateta and Eze. You know, moving on some water, he's done well. But he hasn't been playing regularly. He's not going to be getting nowhere near that starting lineup next season under Glasner, you know, so I think Glasner will try and move him on. We can get a bit of money for him, 8 to 10 mil. Good business. Also, some other news. Nathaniel Klein has signed a new one-year contract extension until 2025. Massive news for him, and he really deserves it. You know, the way he ended off the season under Glasner, playing in the back three, was one of our star defenders in that as well. Driving a bit more forward, looks fitter, looks like he's been looking after himself, working his socks off on and off the pitch, man. He's really proved himself, and he's really proved me and a lot of other Palace fans wrong. So fair play to him. And to end this and that as well, it's quite an upsetting kind of story, but I kind of expected it. Nathan Ferguson will depart Crystal Palace on a free transfer, as his contract will be expiring at the end of this month. You know, for a player only made 1 appearances, I kind of feel sorry for him now. He's had injury problems within the last 4 seasons at Crystal Palace. Feel for the guy, but just wasn't going to get a sniff. Was just never, ever close to getting in that first team because he was hit with injuries left, right and centre. So that's pretty unfortunate and upsetting for him. Hopefully he finds a new club and I hope he succeeds there truly well. So farewell to him. So you have it, people. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out all my other videos. We've got a lot of stuff happening on YouTube Shorts and that as well. Within the Euros, we've got some content coming up for that, and a few transfer episodes and that too, you know, over this summer, referring to Crystal Palace and that, with all the gossip, news and talk coming up over the next few months or so. See you on my next one. Eagles!